Hey guys, welcome back to Daily Weekly Builds, and today I'll be taking a look at this set, the wood cabin. This set was sent to me for free to review for you by Funwhole, so thank you very much for sending it to me, but all opinions are my own. If you do decide to buy the set for yourself, then do check out all the links in the description to their website and to their Amazon page, and use code DailyWeeklyBuilds to get 10% off your order at funwhole.com. First impressions of this set is that it has a great design, a good price per part ratio, and the fact that the light kit is included was also a nice bonus. The box and the instructions had a premium feel to it as well. As for the instructions themselves, I thought they were premium and well made, but they also had a lot of steps, more than I expected. There was mostly good colour accuracy, although some inconsistencies were present, especially in the second half, which almost felt strange because it seemed like the instructions were going so well in the first half of the build, and then less so. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was still pretty good and easy to follow, but maybe it seemed like it was, there were two different people working on this build and one person did the first half and one did the second, but maybe that's just me. Although I did notice some mistakes when labelling the parts which you needed to use. For example, a 1x8 being labelled as a 2x8, even though it clearly shows you a 1x8. A few flimsy techniques that I really didn't like and doubt that LEGO would use for themselves are for the rocking chair, the bookcase, and the porch fence. They all go together eventually in the end, but I just thought there must be a different way, a better way to build these designs, although I couldn't think of anything myself at the time and I just followed what the instructions said. I thought it was a really nice touch that as you completed various stages throughout the instructions there was these little progress checkpoints. As for the actual bricks and parts themselves, I would say they're almost identical to official LEGO parts, and if LEGO parts didn't have the LEGO logo branded onto them, you could probably not tell the difference. I know I couldn't. The clutch power of the parts was equal, if not better, than the official LEGO parts themselves, which sometimes made it a little bit more difficult if you accidentally put the wrong brick together and had to try and separate it again. Luckily, a brick separator was included, although it's not as good as LEGO's official brick separator. There were lots of bags included and they were all numbered, although there were multiples of each number, which didn't help when you had to find a certain part and empty out 5 bags of the same number just to find it. And there were a few spare parts left over, but not the ones you'd expect, and not like LEGO standards for including a spare of every 1x1 part. Other things included in the box were the brick separator, as I mentioned. There was also a really high quality pair of tweezers which I didn't expect, but these were great help when I had to apply the stickers. And that leads me on to my next point, the stickers. There were quite a few stickers in this set. In fact, every detail, except for 2 parts, are all stickers. And some of these can be quite small, but with the use of the tweezers, they were easy to apply and they do add some really nice details, although it would have been much better if some of these, if not all, were at least prints instead. The 2 printed elements that were printed, and not stickers, were the 2 sheep's eyes. Of course this is just the same element done twice, so that I guess you could say there's only 1 printed element included, but it was strange how they were prints and nothing else was. But again, they do add lots of details and without them it would probably look a little boring. There were also some spare stickers included. These were mainly the wood effect details which are used on the roof. I guess you could add more to the roof as it's mostly tiled, or in case you messed up, it's nice to have a few spares as well. There was loads of details, in fact some might even argue maybe too many, especially in terms of the kitchen area and the furnitures. I mean, don't get me wrong, it adds character and real kind of life to this wood cabin, but you probably could have done without some of them. The design also has an open back, which doesn't bother me too much, and it can easily be covered with your own parts. At first I thought this would allow play access into the cabin, but once the roof is on, it doesn't leave too much room, so it might look a little awkward. The roof is made in 3 sections, but when you remove it, you also have to remove the top 2 windows separately. They are barely attached, so it's not hard, and the roof just sits on top. It doesn't attach, but it does kind of lock in place. Most of the floor throughout is tiled off, which is good looking, but doesn't allow many places for any figure to stand. And it also means some of the furniture is likely to fall around when moving this set. For example, the rocking chair or the chairs at the dinner table, which aren't attached to the floor. Although there are no minifigures included, and maybe the build is a little larger than scale for them, but I think you could still display minifigs with them no problem. Most of the furniture builds are a good use of parts, except for the bookcase and the rocking chair, which I think are just a little too flimsy. I feel almost like an afterthought, especially when the rocking chair is the very last thing you build despite finishing the interior furniture over 100 steps ago. So it did seem strange to add that in and go back to the inside after I've just finished the outside. It was a strange design choice for the railing on the mezzanine floor. I thought that the taller banister should have gone around all the way and not just by the ladder, especially when you have that smaller fence element by the bed. You think if anyone's going to fall anywhere, it'd be near the bed would be, as that's where most of the bedroom floor is. And the fact that that little ledge, just, I don't know, I thought that was a weird choice, and I probably would have swapped them around at least. There are so many plant elements included, and it really adds to the detail. But some people probably say there are too many. I mean, I'm not complaining, it was more than I expected, and there are lots of different colours, lots of different styles, and I think it works great and it adds lots of detail. Although if you're not a fan, you could probably do some gardening to give it a more tidy appearance. The tree is also a nice looking build, but another flimsy one at that. The bathroom is an odd design. I recognise the toilet, but I'm unsure about the rest. I can see what they were going for with the mirror design, but I think a sticker would have worked much better. Although one of my major disappointments was the mould for the bathroom tap. It was too big to fit in the space where it was supposed to, and once other things had been built around it, it kind of just wedged itself where it needed to be. It's not completely down, but I don't think it'll be going anywhere. Just a little disappointing, it's just a tad too big. The studs not on top design for the windows used throughout the house was a little more intricate and probably more complicated than it needed to be. Things do fit together in a satisfying conclusion, but a similar result could have been achieved in a much simpler way. And probably used less parts too. Now onto the light kit. The light kit was well packaged in individual numbered bags, and everything was where it should be, and it all worked well with no missing parts. It was great that it can be battery powered or USB. I opted for the battery powered option as you can hide the battery box in the basement section of the build. And as for the wires, well, they're hidden 99% of the time, apart from the desk lamp, and when they come down the side of the house to go into the basement where the battery box is. One of my main problems with using light kits is the fact that there might be wires seen throughout builds, and I didn't want that in this one. I did find it a little delicate and fiddly to install, but that could just be me, as I've never used one before. The lights are used in all the right places and are a nice touch, especially when on at night, but are not essential to the build and you could leave them out, and there are some spare parts for alternatives to use instead if you didn't want to use the light kit. The set started off strong with some slight annoyances with flimsy building techniques in the second half, but overall I was pleased with the amount of details and texture. It was very enjoyable and I would definitely recommend this set to anybody who's interested in it. I would definitely say this is worth the retail price of £100 and I would buy again from this company. Once again, they did provide this set for me to review, but all the opinions are my own and I definitely didn't want to hide away any of the negatives for you. As I've already said throughout this review, it's not perfect, but it's much better than I expected. I would have bought it and I will, as I've said, I will buy again from this company, but I think it's safe to say the best part of this entire thing is the sheep. If that isn't the most adorable brick-built animal I've ever seen, then I don't know what is. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know what you think about this set in the comments below, and thanks again to Funwhole for sending me this review copy. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.